Okay, well this is my first video that I'm recording in audio for to go over. I used a base form that I traced over and then stylized for my own needs. Because I don't want to copy someone else's piece. That's not what I was doing. This was also a practice for me, so it's not meant to be like a full piece. This was me practicing. That's partially how I learned how to draw, was like going through different how to draw books and just tracing one part of the drawing process over and over again, and just building up the muscle memory of it. And yeah, this character is my one of my two D&D characters, which I have yet to be able to play. Her name is Kaya. She's a tiefling bard. She's chaotic good in a kind of scary sense, but also endearing. I struggled with her pigtails for a minute because I couldn't quite get them up to the shape that I wanted them to be at first. I'm happy with the overall outcome though. Doing various poses in puffy sleeves was an interesting thing to try. But I think I did okay, considering it was my first time doing that with posed arms and everything. I've noticed a common theme lately with my drawing is I really like drawing corsets and bloomers, and I'm almost always drawing boots. Usually sort of resembling Converse, apparently, because that's the main shoe that I draw, because it's an easy shape and I've become comfortable in being lazy with it. I'm going through right now and doing a lot of shading. A lot of my shading is sort of scribble scratches, and I really like how it turns out. That's just what works for me, because that's how I shade if I'm using a ballpoint pen. It's like as you see, it starts to add dimensions slowly, defining certain areas, doing whatnot, and then I bring back the opacity of it. And the tail gave me problems for a minute. I liked the shape of it for the most part. It turned out pretty okay, but then I didn't like how I positioned it and didn't want to completely redraw it, so I decided to morph it around a bit. And it also saved me from having to do too many details on that spot for the shoes. Her color palette is very, well, honestly, pink for the most part, with the exception of her boots and her shirt being sort of a teal blue color. Purple, I feel, is sort of, it's on the spectrum with the pink. I tried to use colors that were similar to each other so that it was not necessarily monochromatic but complementary, because color theory. Her hair is sort of a corally orange pink color at its base. Every time I draw her, it's a little bit different. Maybe I'll add that as a thing for her characters, that it's never quite the same. Her shoes, I wanted to be, it looked like it was made sort of out of a dark leather that was, like a dark teal. That's the color. Her eyes are black, on the sclera at least, and her irises are blue. I'm starting the first time that I actually realized that this program even had a blending tool was when I was working on my other character, Caradwen, who is actually this character's older sister, which isn't really important. I just decided I wanted them to be sisters so that I had an excuse to add clown elements into both of their costumes. They were orphans because, tiefling, and they sort of grew up in a circus, I guess, was what I was going with. I don't know. I haven't full on done a backstory, and I don't want it to be such a heavily in-depth backstory for my starting characters. I want to know who they are, where they came from, why they had certain things, but it does not need to be a long backstory, personally, for me. Kaya, she has an imaginary friend who everyone just thinks is an imaginary friend, but she's haunted by something, and I haven't decided if that's relevant or not. I don't know. I enjoy making characters. I am a writer. I ramble, and I'm sorry. You see the spikes under her eyes. That's my phone going off. I really like doing spikes. I do that in my regular makeup. I think I'm cleaning up the edges here. Oh, I started messing with the background. I was looking to see if there were any color specks anywhere that I needed to mess with the black. This was me just sort of feeling stuff out. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for the background, and I was just pink and green go together, and it really didn't go so well. This was also me messing around finding new brushes in my program that I've been using for 2 years that I didn't realize were there. I really liked this glowing thing that it had. There's a couple different glowing brushes on it. I use an app on my laptop called Autodesk Sketchbook. I don't know. I really liked this. I think this is what I went with. It was fun to play around with the brushes for a minute. It was cool to get a new feeling for the program. Even I've been using this program for a couple of years now, and I'm still finding new things in it. Maybe it's because of updates, but it's cool. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I really love this character, and I really hope to upload more videos and recordings of Speedpaints in the future, as well as other work. This is going on my Patreon and YouTube, so please give it a follow.